Your self-worth is giving mediocre. There is only one emotional intelligence skills that helps to boost your self-worth. And I mean, when it boosts it, you know about it. Your self-worth is all about how you see yourself. Do you see yourself as a winner or defeated? Are you successful or are you still working on something? Are you helpless? Would it take a miracle for something good to happen to you in your life? Or are you hopeful? And I hope that you're hopeful. You're thinking that there is only one way for me to prove my worth. And there is more than one way to prove your worth, but you only need to prove it to yourself. Self-worth is about how you see yourself. It's not about other people's approval or judgment of you. Maybe you're good where you are right now, and some of you are. You're making good money, you do what you want to do and go where you want to go. That's great. You've been relatively stress-free for some time, and some of us get into a season where we don't have many ups and downs, but yet you still feel like there is more and that there's more to you that you can explore. You know, your worth can look good from the outside. But if you feel defeated, or if you feel like you're the person that's content, you need to examine your self worth to see if your acceptance of your self worth is giving, or if you're capable of giving more. You see how I did that? If it's giving. Anyway, welcome to Brains and Baubles Live with Davina Dandridge. On this episode, we're getting real about why your self-worth is or isn't giving. And, if you are lacking in emotional intelligence, your self-worth isn't giving anything, or it isn't given up to the standard that you need to get to the next level. You know, you won't want to miss me sharing how the incredible power of emotional intelligence can skyrocket your self-esteem and reshape your life. Stick around to the end of this video and learn how mastering this skill can transform your life in ways you never imagined. You know, Giving, if you haven't heard that term on social media, it came from social media. And, it fits many different situations. So giving is the vibe. So it's just cutting out words. You know how social media abbreviates things and simplifies it, almost too simplified. Anyway, giving can be used as a way to compare someone or something to another person or thing, or to possibly describe an overall vibe of a person or a thing. All right. So if you're giving a vibe, or if you're not giving the vibe you're supposed to. Your self-worth, though, hasn't been evaluated because you're unfulfilled. If you're one of those people who haven't started evaluating your self-worth, you are unfulfilled. It's not giving what it has the potential to give. Your life is not giving. Self-worth is only about you, your evaluation of where you are, what you're doing in your life. Self-worth is how you value yourself, plain and simple. It's the value of your life fulfillment based on your level of self-confidence. And that's what I really want to talk about, is building that self-confidence. And it's not about your loyalty to somebody else. Okay. That's not how you get your self-worth. It's not about how you are a ride or die friend or a partner. That makes no difference to your self-worth. The value of your plans and desires, uh, the value of your plans and desires for your life is what makes up your self-worth, because you don't need acceptance of your dreams or what you have desires for from other people. They don't need to validate that for you, because as life changes, and even some of the friends you have, as we have more and more different experiences in our lives, we realize that other people really don't weigh in to the decision-making factors in our lives. What they think doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things. So when you get an idea or you have a profound dream or thought or a eureka moment, the first thing you do is you go tell somebody. And just that quickly, somebody you love, somebody you trust, somebody you respect, ruins your excitement about this new thing that you've discovered because they have some type of negative view and they tell you about it. And that helps to diminish your confidence in yourself to actually do what it is that you've just had this wonderful idea to do. They might say something like, oh, I know somebody who's doing that already. Or, well, you can't do it that way. That's not how it's done. So and so tried to do it and it didn't work for them. Or they might even say, I'm doing that too. And so now you feel like, okay, maybe this isn't what I thought it was, right? At this point in your life, you must, it's imperative that you make decisions based on what makes you happy because this is your life. We only get one. Why would you work so hard and go through all this turmoil to do something and you're not being happy about it? Forget the idea that you have to sacrifice everything and not be happy. The point is, no one needs to validate what you are worthy to be or who you're worthy to be, what you're worthy to do, or what you're worthy to have. Self awareness helps you to assess where you are within your own value system because it doesn't matter what someone else thinks. Your value or worth is not about what you've done as much as it is about your belief that you can do things. So, what you've done, okay, you've done that. So you have worth up until the point that you've done what you've done. But now let's go a little further. Okay. It's the belief that you can do things, you can do more. It's not about what you have, it's about your capacity to be a contributing factor to what happens in your life. Self worth relies on self awareness to keep you honest about what you want. Self awareness allows you to take the time to look into yourself. How can you do what it takes? Or how can you have or create what you want? You have to be self aware to understand that there's going to have to be some adjustments and some shifts in your life in order to take your life to another level. It takes time because it doesn't happen overnight. Any transformation, any change that's worth having takes time to actually execute and see the result. And most times it takes money too. There isn't anything that you can get for free that has the same value or as much value as something that a cost is affixed to. It just doesn't work. If you get something that's free, it might be good. It might be cool for that moment, but it is not the best of that same thing. And then if you want to make a transition in your life, I mean, really want to make change so you can see your self-worth, then you also need support. And the support isn't getting approval. The support is when you have a plan, you have a community of people, whether they are people that live in your household or people who you're related to or your friends or support that you have to go pay for. You need support in your life so that you can take the time to work on your self confidence, work on your self esteem, build your self worth. It takes the desire to want more. It takes a desire to do more in order for you to have more. If you could just do it by doing what you're doing now and thinking the way that you're thinking right now, then you'd already have the success that you say that you're dreaming about. It starts with identifying yourself as worthy so that you can become the person to do what you're dreaming about doing. Because I say you have to see yourself as a worthy person because you have to make tough decisions and tough adjustments. And you do have to make sacrifices to make a change. It's not going to feel comfortable. Change is always uncomfortable. And so you have to be the person who can be resilient through some of the backlash you're going to get from friends and family, through some of the hard times you're going to get because you may have to make adjustments in your day to day activities in order to start building the life that you want. So you have to develop a positive vision of who you are and what you're capable of doing and give yourself permission to have higher expectations. It's cool. It's okay. It's reasonable for you to think that you are worthy and even believe that you deserve to have the things that you dream about. You deserve to have the things that you dream about. If other people can have it, you can too. But first, there's some things that you have to address internally before you can do any external actions to get where you want to go. So let's start with how you manage your emotional triggers. That's the first place because you need to manage those triggers so you can take control of what happens in your life. If your emotions are all over the place, then your behavior is all over the place because your thinking isn't in alignment with what it is the plan is that you have created. Unaddressed emotional triggers distract you from examining who you are. If your emotions are all over the place, when you're going to get a chance to sit down and really figure out what it is you want to do with your life? Where do you want to live? What type of lifestyle? What kind of trappings, surroundings, environment makes you happy and feel fulfilled? What type of activities that can you do in your life to have fulfillment? How can you give of yourself, of your ideas, of something that you created to help other people or benefit other people? You can't do that if you have all of these emotional triggers all over the place. Because as an emotional planner, you uncover ways to address those triggers so that your responses that you have now are different from the ones that you've had in the past. Because maybe in the past, you just look, you're not just going to talk to me any old kind of way, or you're not just going to do any of this to me. You had to confront everybody about everything. Maybe just yesterday, you were good at cussing somebody out because they didn't do something the way that you wanted to do. But the honest truth is, you really didn't explain it. You just expected them to understand. That doesn't work, right? So practicing self-awareness, it boosts your self-esteem. When you have unaddressed triggers, every argument, every conflict, and every disappointment adds to a brick that you use to build your pride wall, to block out vulnerability. I talked about building this pride wall a couple of videos ago. I think it's called How Pride Keeps You from the Happiness You Desire, right? So if you are self aware, or as you're becoming self aware and you're able to manage those triggers, instead of you building a brick wall, you start opening up so you can have more enjoyment, more balance, more ways of having self care, more ways of actually spending time with your family because you have let some of those bricks down. So, by practicing self awareness, you understand that valuable outcomes happen differently than you thought they did in the past, in your past awareness. You now value a more balanced outcome. It might not get to be all the way that you want it, or the way that you plan, or the way that you thought it should be, but you are open to working on an outcome a little bit differently than you have in the past. And then by practicing self awareness, you no longer question why you can't get yourself together. Like, I just feel like I just can't get myself together because you're no longer comparing yourself to the next person who you really are not seeing their authentic self anyway, but that's another whole video. Okay. So you will now focus on specific issues when you have conflicts, or when there's something that you need to do or something doesn't go your way. Instead of looking to see why you're a failure, you'll now look at the issue and find the root cause. You'll actually look for a cause of why you got the result that you got, and then work to find a reasonable solution. So the next time you have a trigger or the next time this incident repeats itself, you behave differently because your thinking is different now. You know how to solve problems and use critical thinking. Problem solving shows you that you are stronger, you're smarter, and you're more charismatic than you think you are. As you begin to solve your own problems, as you begin to be a big picture thinking and think ahead and plan ahead in areas of your life, you'll realize that you really have some stuff that had been buried or had never come out. You'll understand that, oh, okay, I do know how to talk to people in authority, or I do know how to be convincing and get something that I want, or to negotiate a deal, or to solve a conflict. You understand that you're smart enough now to plan to get an avenue to get funding for whatever your dream is, to be able to manage your time so that you can have more self care. You're stronger because now you're more resilient. The things that used to sing you off the handle and have you stuck in the bed for a couple of days. Now you address it, find an answer. You might do whatever you need to get over it, cry, scream, but you get past it. And as you continue to work on those triggers and your self esteem builds up and your problem solving skills develop, you will be emboldened to do more things. Your worth for yourself will grow higher and higher. When you start evaluating your self worth, you start realizing that you have settled for mediocre in some areas of your life. You did. You thought they were fine. You thought these were normal levels of communication. You know how you would make excuses for yourself and think that that was acceptable, or you would accept some other person's default communication in your relationships. You just accepted it. Well, that's just how he is, and I'm just going to accept it. You now begin to understand that ambition is a solo journey. Your desires are a solo journey. The more you evaluate your self worth, the more you desire a better way of living. And other people might not get it. When you do better, you have a desire for better things, higher quality. And that's in relationship, that's in communication, that is in the place you live, the places you go, how you eat, how you dress, your entertainment. All of those things are better because you have more exposure and more access. The things that you want and consider better are relative to your past experiences. So if you've never experienced anything at the level where you want to be, I think you need to try to get a peek into the room, sample, do something. Go to a free wine tasting if you've never been to a vineyard and want to go to a vineyard. They have, tickets and things where you can go and eat at more than one restaurant or get a sample of food from an expensive restaurant. Do those things so you can elevate your experiences. And when you start elevating those experiences and elevate what you've seen and elevate what you've heard, then you think that you deserve those things because you do. Don't diminish the value of your dreams. I say, even better, write your dreams down, because a dream is an inspiration from God, and that's how I see it. You write your dreams down in a notebook, in your phone, and then maybe today, maybe tomorrow, or whenever you're inspired, you take action on them. But you be quiet about it. Don't tell anybody. You don't have to share everything as you're doing it. I like the phrase, I can show you better than I can tell you. That means I'll tell you about what I did once I've done it. Instead, I'm telling you what I'm doing as I'm doing it. Okay. But you have to do something. In order to have fulfillment, you have to do something. Some people accomplish things and climb to a higher level of life accomplishments just for bragging rights. Some people dream big and act on their dreams because they have to change the paradigm in their life. They have to change their family history. They no longer want, what was ascribed to them by the behaviors of their lineage, right? So they have to work hard to change their thinking so that they can do new things or different things. Then there are people who never do anything outside of what they consider normal, what they see every day, and what the people around them are doing. Your environment is so important. If you are not surrounded by around people who are doing things that you want to do, or are living a way that you aspire to live, or thinking in a way, or have behaviors in a way that you admire, that you're looking to do, and you're only around people who don't even think about self-awareness, about how to better their lives, then you have to change the environment that you're in order for you to be someone different, be the person who can do what it is you want to do. Because your environment is where you get your motivation, your environment. And I mean the people you're around, the places you go, the entertainment that you consume, all of that weighs in on your value system. So be careful about what it is. The people who, um, never do anything or try to accomplish anything to better themselves, it's sad. You know, they never stretch themselves and examine the ideas that equate to happiness for them, because they think that dreams are fantasy. I ain't got no time for dreams. That's just, I don't have time for that. Their only belief is that they need to work to make money. And they have to do that because if they just pay their bills and they're comfortable, they're good. But thinking that way limits your possibilities for what you can do to help other people. I'm sure there's somebody that you know that you love that could use your help. They could use a couple of bucks, while they're away at school to buy a book, or to get some, eat something decent for a change. Or somebody who has a flat tire, but they're on their way to their job interview, so they haven't had the money to get their tire. Wouldn't it be nice if you could give them some money? I say give them some money, not loan them some money, but give them some money to help them without it putting you in debt. If you're comfortable, that means what you have is in this window. It's right here. Outside of that, put stress on you. I want to be able to help people in a way that can change their lives. Okay, but let me tell you why that person who hasn't done anything, why they think the way that they do. They have low or mediocre self-worth. So don't be ashamed of wanting to step outside of what you have done up to this point. Bet on yourself. Bet on you. You can have the life you desire. You can have the lifestyle that is fulfilling to you. You can do the activities that bring you peace and happiness and enrich your life. You can have material things or public recognition if that's what you want. You must get to the point where you believe that what is available for other people, what you've seen on social media, what you see on TV, even what your girlfriends talk about, what is available for anyone else is available for you too. Then you have to believe that you are the person to build it, create it, or organize a plan to achieve your dreams. That's what curating your life is all about, is organizing a plan to achieve your dreams. No matter how you look at it, you have to have a plan, because in order for you to achieve your dreams, if that is building something or giving something away or just having more time to do stuff, it takes money. I don't know any way that you can have a whole free day and not have money, or be able to help somebody like I was just talking about and not use money. Money is important to the choices and opportunities available in our lives. Money is important to financing the things that we want to do in our lives. And really having the lifestyle and the surroundings that we want in our lives requires finances. You have to believe that you have the ability to earn, right? Or find the right resources needed to fund your dreams. You have to believe within yourself that financial barriers, now you might have financial issues or concerns, but financial barriers do not keep you from living your dreams. You have to change your thinking about that. You have to decide that your dreams will no longer be delayed because you're waiting on someone else to help you take action in your life financially. You might have to sacrifice or save or work more for a minimum time just to get where you want to go. It's okay because you're working on improving your self-worth. You'll have the desire to learn new skills and the patience and resilience to wait and see the benefit of achieving your goals. You won't be thinking that it's just going to happen overnight. You'll know that, okay, this step is going to take me 6 months. This step might take a year, but you have those benchmarks that show success on your way that's building your self-worth, that's building your self-esteem, that's adding to your confidence. You put in the emotional work. Now your self-worth and self-fulfillment are through the roof because you've learned who you are and whose you are. You know, the Bible is a great book. Psalm 16, 2 and 11. Psalms 2 says, "O my soul, you have said to the Lord, you are my Lord. My goodness is nothing apart from you." Here's verse 11. "You will show me the path of life. In your presence is fullness of joy. At your right hand are pleasures forevermore." So what that's saying is God wants us to have the desires of our heart. He gives us the desires of our heart. Anything good comes from God and he makes a way, but we have to be in tune with who we are and be in relationship with God. If you don't know how to start incorporating a prayer life into your daily routine, read my book, Brains and Baubles, Do What Works for You. I talk about what I do and how I find out what it is I'm supposed to do and get clarity and get wisdom on what it is that I'm supposed to do. So in a nutshell, what this scripture is telling you is that you are worthy of the things your heart's desires. So that may mean you are worthy of building a house from the ground up. You are worthy of a solo birthday trip to Africa. You are worthy of a special office and prayer room in the spare bedroom of your house and decorated to your unique specifications and just the way you want it. You are worthy of a G-Wagon. You are worthy of a massage every couple of weeks for self-care, or a housekeeper that does the chores so you can spend time working on your dreams. How you value yourself is directly related to how people treat you. When you develop your self-worth, you show up in relationships as your authentic self. Your authentic professional self doesn't make excuses when they're getting close to a timeline. They talk about it and communicate it in advance. You show up as your authentic friend or family member self and advise people when they ask for advice. And then you keep your word and you don't go about gossiping about their business. And as your authentic, romantic, or intimate relation self, you are open with your partner. There's a particular freedom you experience when you don't feel inadequate or behind the eight ball by life, and you stop comparing yourself to other people. The ultimate freedom is when you trust your mate and you are secure enough in your value to be trustworthy. You're not looking to have somebody waiting in the wings because you think this relationship isn't going to work because you had a misunderstanding. You are secure enough and trust your mate enough to be vulnerable. When you have questions or concerns, you vocally ask or say something. And when they say something to you, you don't get easily offended. You are open to compromise and really want to understand their point of view. Listen, that's the ultimate freedom. The ultimate freedom. The study of emotional intelligence grounds your thinking and behavior to focus on the things that you can control. It allows you to see yourself through your own eyes, the real you, not the representative that you show other people, not your fake it till you make it self. Self worth is directly related to self fulfillment. Self fulfillment comes with giving of time or giving of money or contributions to society. We all have a unique purpose. We all have something that is a unique thing that only we can do. Self awareness is the tool to identify that unique purpose. So if you don't already know what your purpose is, use self awareness to start pinpointing what are the things that you've done well in your life that you are naturally able to do and do it well. Someone needs to read your writing. Someone needs to learn your process, or someone needs to wear your designs, eat your food, use your app or your software. If you never take action or command control of your life or contribute to society, then you haven't done what God created you to contribute. So, how can you have fulfillment in life? You can be the person that can do or have the things you desire only if you believe you are worth it. Thank you for tuning in to today's episode of Brains and Baubles Live. Remember, your self worth is invaluable. And by harnessing the power of emotional intelligence, you can unlock the world of limitless possibilities. If you find this episode insightful, and I hope that you did, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more transformative content. And hey, share this video with someone who deserves to realize their true worth. Until next time, keep shining and working to become that person you've always wanted to be.